wanted it to be natural, really. I think there's just too much red in it.
Well, it's not my fault it's red down to your roots from you and Lionel doing, well, what comes naturally in my back room.
Look, I said I would replace the massage table.
Oh, forget about it. It's under warranty, but you are going to have to help me come up with a story to tell the manufacturer, because I don't believe it comes under the category of normal wear and tear. So where is Mr. L?
Oh, he went home. He's trying to chip off that mud pack. Let's just hope he strikes his epidermis in time to give Lily away.
I didn't know your daughter was getting married. So, who's the lucky fella?
None other than Ted Capwell.
Ooh.
Talk about a catch. Not only is he handsome, but he's got a great personality. And he could certainly offer a girl a lifestyle she could get used to. Who says money can't buy you happiness?
Well, you'd have to ask me ex-wives. They've got all mine. So how long have Ted and Lily been going together, then?
Well, not that long. But they've known each other quite a while.
Yeah.
But they didn't fall head over heels in love until they were reunited on the Isle of Boratunga. Isn't that romantic?
I think it's wonderful.
I've never seen a man so love-struck as Ted Capwell is over my daughter.
Ouch! Too rough? A little. I guess I can take it.
Hey, Bride.
Hey, Groom. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just doing a little preliminary survey of the land. See, I take these horizontal lines, and I got the vertical lines going here. And you just put them together, and you find out what the triangle's from. Then you dig a little trench over here. You find out what's underneath.
Sounds interesting.
You know, I was reading about the Pompeii excavation last night. They found a dog with a dog biscuit still in his mouth, and it was buried. Unbelievable.
Woof.
Not interested in fossilized doggy treats, are you?
No,
Yeah.
not. Ted, I need to talk to you about Lisa.
What has he done this time?
I don't know. Maybe nothing. I'm not sure. I overheard her talking on the phone to Rich Landers, and he was wondering what it is that you see in me.
So let her wonder. Actually, I like the view.
Thank you. Ted, that's not all she said. She said that maybe I tried the, quote, guess what, I'm pregnant bit, unquote, to trap you into marriage.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Said there was something in the way she said it that gave me the feeling that maybe things aren't what they seem.
You want to know what I think? I think that she knew you were listening, so she said this to your benefit. She's done this stuff before.
No, Ted, I'm sure she didn't see me standing there. She was very sincere, and unless Lisa is a much better actress than any of us give her credit for, I think something's really wrong.
Let the record show the court has been cleared, save for the witness, the jury, the prosecution, the defense counsel, and myself. Mr. Arnold, would you please ask your last question?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Walker, I'll ask you again. On the night of August 10th, is it possible you killed Frank Goodman?
Yes.
Thank you. No further questions.
Ms. Kaplan, do you wish to redirect?
No, Your Honor. I choose not to re-examine this witness. However, I would like to request a continuance so that I may confer with my client and prepare a new defense.
Objection, Your Honor. The witness has all but confessed to Frank Goodman's murder, which automatically changes the plea to guilty.
All buts don't count, Your Honor. I need to reconstruct my entire defense, which means I need to subpoena and question new witnesses. This takes time.
The court's time has already been wasted on a defense built on a house of cards. The house fell, Your Honor. Respectfully submit that the jury be excused and we move on to the penalty phase.
There is no question that this needs to be rethought. And whatever ruling I reach will not be made in here. Therefore, I declare that this court is in recess until further notice. The witness is excused. Miss Capwell, Mr. Arnold, meet with me in my chambers.
All rise!
BJ, you can step down now.
I'm sorry, Julia.
It's all right. You wait for me here.
Lauren, what have I done? What have I done?
Ted and Lily haven't decided if they're going to move into Cece's mansion or buy a little place of their own. Very small, of course, nothing ostentatious in light of the times. But that first year of marriage, all they'll really need is a bed, good, strong mattress.
Oh. Could you please be a little more careful?
What was that?
It was just another satisfied customer. I tell you what, let's let this bake for a while, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Anджела, is there some kind of problem?
No, it's fine.
That's all right. I'll take over from here. So, I hear there's a wedding in the offing. A couple wedding, no less. Oh, but I'm sure you've heard all about it.
Yeah, I'm sure the whole neighborhood heard. Is that Gina braying back there?
Who's got a voice like nails on a chalkboard?
Well, if you need an escort to the wedding, don't forget your old friend Riley. I even own my own tux.
Thanks, Riley, but I think I already have an escort. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out to be a double wedding.
Really? Who did you talk into hearing wedding bells?
Not that it's any of your business, Gina, but the father of the groom has been pressing his suit quite ardently.
Stacey Capwell. Oh, I am impressed.
I'm shocked. Funny, I don't see an engagement ring.
I haven't made up my mind yet. Speaking of engagement rings, I understand congratulations are in order?
You mean Ted and Lily? I couldn't be happier.
Well, enjoy it while it lasts. You might want to tell Lily not to start opening wedding presents quite yet. She may have to return them.
You know, Ted, the more I think about it, the more convinced I am that Lisa didn't know I was standing there. I used to work in Vegas, remember? I can tell a con a mile off. Lisa was right on the money.
So forget about it.
Ted, how could somebody who's just lost a baby be so flip about
What
it?
do you care how she feels?
It's not her. It's rape. Ted, what if she pulled the baby bonnet over his eyes?
What are you talking about?
Question. When is a baby not a baby? Answer. When you're trying to trap somebody into marrying you.
You think Lisa faked her pregnancy? Well, that's pretty low, even for her, you know.
Well, it worked, didn't it? On rape, at least.
Look, Lily, you're taking a molehill out of something that you heard on the telephone, that you accidentally heard on the telephone, and you're making a mountain out of something you can't prove, okay?
Well, then I'll get proof.
How?
I'm going to have dinner with my mom later on. Maybe she can help somehow.
You're not going to forget about making the wedding plan.
For
right?
your information, the future Mrs. Theodore Capwell has an appointment tomorrow afternoon at Saks to discuss the bridal registry. Okie dokie?
Mm-hmm. Everything's Jake.
You want to, go catch a movie or something later on?
Yeah, why don't you just come back pick me up when you're done eating?
Okay. Pretty funny-looking little doll there.
This is not funny looking. This is beautiful. This is our bread and butter, in case my father cut this off, okay?
Well, I'm sorry, that'll teach me.
We'll teach you what?
To let icons be icons. Sorry.
Get out of here. Go on. Beat it. Call me later. Jeez.
God, Warren, I'm so scared. I'm so scared.
There's nothing to be afraid of, okay? I'm right here.
You're talking about I just confessed to killing Frank.
You did not confess, BJ. You said that it was possible. That's not the same thing.
When I was up there on the witness stand, I started to remember. It was all right there in my mind's eye. I shot Frank, Warren. It was me.
You can't be sure of that. You might have just dreamt it or imagined it or just thought that you saw it.
No. It was what it was. Not a dream. Not my imagination. It was me, Warren. I killed a man.
You know, it would be such a shame if Lily's wedding to Ted Capwell doesn't come off.
Oh, it's going to come off all right. All that talk's just wishful thinking on Angela's part.
Think so?
Absolutely. Lily and I are like that. If there was a glitch in the plans, I'd know about it, believe me.
Well, I wish there'd been a glitch in my wedding plans, all three of them. I want you to promise me that if I even look as if I'm going to propose to anyone, I want you to take me out into a field and put me out of my matrimonial misery.
Oh, marriage is all right. As long as you're married to the right person. You know, I married C.C. Capwell twice. It was like the ants without the picnic. I still don't understand it. I just hope that Angela has better luck with C.C. than I did.
Well, you're being awfully philosophical about it.
Well, I think what they say is true. Living well is the best revenge. And I have the satisfaction of knowing how much it galls C.C. that his son Ted is marrying my daughter Lily. So I'm having the last laugh and loving every minute of it.
Well, here comes the bride, even as we speak.
Hi.
I've just heard the great news. Congratulations, darling.
Thanks, Riley. Mom,
We gotta talk. We sure do. We have to find you a dress. We have to pick out which flowers you want in your bouquet and decide what kind of food to have.
No. Not about that. This is something it can't wait, and it's got me really bummed out.
Really, what is it?
Well, I'll give you a clue. It involves a certain little scheming blonde that we all know and love.
Well, I'll leave you two girlies to solve the problems of the world in private.
Lily will make a beautiful bride, won't she? I didn't realize she and Gina were such close friends. Most mothers and daughters I know fight like cats and dogs.
Oh, not those two. I mean, they're more like friends, always giggling and scheming and telling each other everything. See you later, Angela.
Giggling and scheming, yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
You have no case, Julia. It's over. You lost. Give it up.
Winning or losing is not the issue here. BJ is still my client. She's still entitled to the best defense that I can provide, and I can't do that without adequate prep time.
You don't get it, do you? There's no extra innings on this one, Julia.
This is not a ball game, Ben. This girl's future is on the line. Look, all I need is time to rethink and retrench. That time means nothing to you. Every minute counts to her.
How much time are we talking about here?
1 week.
No way.
All right, Ben. What do you think would be a fair amount of time?
2 hours, tops.
2 hours. I can't even get a subpoena served in 2 hours. What do you want me to do with 2 hours?
Take it or leave it. It's my final offer.
Mine is the final word.
Be my guest, Your Honor. Just remember, justice is supposed to be blind. She's not in the habit of dispensing special favors just because one of the litigants happens to be your wife.
I don't need you to remind me of that.
So what are we talking about here? A reprimand or a reprieve?
So I wonder what happens next. I guess they'll remand me back into custody and then sentencing.
No, you're getting way ahead of yourself here now, BJ. Julie is back in the chambers right now buying a little time to figure out what our next move's going to be.
There's no us, Warren. It's me. I killed Frank, not you.
I killed him, and now I have to pay for my crime.
Why are you talking like you're walking your last mile? That's not the way it is. And you haven't even told me what you remember.
What's there to tell? I was on the stand, and Arnold was questioning me. There was a flash that went off, like this light exploding in my head. And Frank was standing there in that light. And I was too, with the gun in my hand and my finger on the trigger. Frank was so close I could feel his breath. Just like all the other times.
Do you actually remember having the gun in your hand?
No. All of a sudden, it was just gone. Just like it came. I was in the pitch black. But I heard the sound of the gun going off.
Wait a minute here now. Back up just a little bit. What happened?
Are you all right? Not one of my better days.
What happened with Mason? Did you get the continuance you wanted?
I had to settle for what I could get. We have under 24 hours to turn B J's testimony from a stunning defeat into an unqualified victory. And the clock is ticking.
So, I'm wondering if this whole thing was just a bogus way for Lisa to trap Rafe into marriage. What do you think?
I think that you're reading an awful lot into a casual conversation you can't possibly put into context.
What do you mean?
Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say you walk into a room. I'm on the telephone, but you just hear the tail end of the conversation. You hear me say, oh, by the time she finds out what we're up to, she won't be able to do anything about it. Well, of course she'll be surprised. But after the shock wears off, we'll open up the champagne and we'll celebrate. You probably think that I'm having an affair with another woman's husband. Right?
Right?
Wrong. Completely wrong. A friend of mine has come to me and he's asked me to help him plan a surprise party for his wife. See, by the time she finds out about it, she won't be able to do anything about it. But because you did not hear both sides of the conversation, you jumped to the wrong conclusion.
And you think that's what I've done with Lisa?
I think it's very possible.
I don't know, Mom. There's something in the tone of her voice that just sent a chill down my spine, you know?
That's your skin crawling. Lisa does the same thing to me. Why don't you give yourself an early wedding present and forget about Lisa? Marry Ted, have a couple of kids who will talk back to you the way you talk to me, and live happily ever after.
I suppose Rafe is on that list of things you want me to forget about.
It's a mother's prayer. Forget about Rafe. Marry Ted Capwell. Who needs Rafe Castillo anyway?
I get extra credit for the right answer.
You get a lifetime penalty for the wrong one. So think about it long and hard. Learn a lesson from your mother. Make the right choice.
I'd almost think your mind was on your work.
Where else would it be?
Oh, I could think of a few places. Would you like me to describe them to you, or perhaps you could recall them from memory?
What are you doing here?
Slumming, what else? Oh, it's all right. I've had my shot.
Well, I haven't had mine.
I don't bite, Ted. I just scratch. So tell me, where did you?
Okay, look, enough with the dime store dialogue. What do you want?
I'm here on business, actually. Mine, and it's strictly personal. I'm afraid that funky little bride-to-be of yours is planning on telling tales out of school, specifically the one about you and me and all the naughty little things we used to like to do while the teacher's back was turned.
Well, what makes you think she cares?
Maybe she doesn't. Maybe the beeline she made to Gina a while ago was just a result of pre-bridal jitters, but I happened to overhear a particular blonde mentioned in not-so-favorable terms, and so...
So you think that she's talking about you? God. What's it like
What's what like?
to be you?
This isn't about ego, Ted. If Gina were to hear from Lily that you and I had a thing, how long do you think it would be before that news reached your father? Anyone know the speed of light offhand?
186,000 miles per second.
That's very good. But you see, I doubt that that would beat Gina's record. And maybe my ego's a little overblown, but I think that your father might be devastated by this news.
You seem to forget that I'm out of the loop. I'm this close to being disinherited, okay? What do you expect from me?
I'm asking you to make sure that Lily doesn't tell Mommy Dearest about us. As a favor to me.
Why should I do you a favor?
Ever hear of old times, Ted?
First thing, straight off the bat. Is there anything else I need to know? No more surprises.
I promise you, Julia, no one was more surprised than I was. I haven't been keeping anything from you deliberately.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to suggest that. BJ, what happened up there?
I'm not sure. I was telling Warren that things, memories, I guess, were coming back when the DA was questioning me.
What kind of things? And I need you to be specific. It'll help me help you.
That's the crazy thing about it. It's like I'm watching somebody else in a movie. There's Frank facing the camera. Cut to a close shot of the gun. Special effects, gunshot going off. Fade out. The end. I'm sorry, Warren. I know it's not the ending you wanted. It's the one that was written.
Nothing's written, BJ. Not unless we write it. Everyone seems to think that Frank left you this indelible legacy. To BJ, I bequeath the following. Nothing. Nothing but pain and remorse and guilt. Is that what you want? Is that what you're comfortable with? Because you can revoke this insidious chain of command, and that's what it is, if you want to. Do you? And I mean really want to.
Yes.
Good. And that's all I need from you right now. That and a little faith, and then some on credit. Until we reconvene in court tomorrow. It's been a very long day. Warren, why don't you take BJ home?
What about you?
I think I'm going to stick around these hallowed halls for a while. In case inspiration strikes, I want it to know where to find me.
Thank you, Julia, for everything.
Thank me after the jury comes back with an acquittal.
Well, here's a little something more on credit.
Okay, go ahead.
And revelation. A star is born.
Lily? What do you think? I think you look like June Cleaver.
It's the new retro look. It's very in now, you know.
Oh, Riley, don't pay any attention to her. She's just upset because I won't let her worries over an old boyfriend get in the way of her future happiness.
What if Lisa did pull some kind of a scandal?
Let's talk about it at dinner.
I'm not hungry anymore. Can we skip it?
What about the wedding plan?
We can talk about it later, all right? Bye. I love you. Bye, Riley.
Bye, darling.
Lily's right. I am having a bad hair day. Can we try something else?
Well, it's your hair.
Hello, is this Lisa Castillo? Hi, it's Gina. Do you know where Riley's hair salon is on Oakwood Drive? Well, I suggest you meet me here, if you know what's good for you.
I throw myself on the mercy of the court. If I could just stop being a judge for 5 minutes, and maybe I could have my husband back. And then he would tell me what to do.
Since when have you needed me to tell you what to do?
Lisa, is that you?
Well, to all intents and purposes, your version of me, Julia. How may I be of service?
How do I know that I can trust you?
You conjured me up. It's just like trusting yourself. Now, what have we got?
For all intents and purposes, I have a client who has just confessed to the jury that she has just killed a man. How do I defend her?
By taking the jury's attention away from what BJ did and focusing it on why she did it. Allow them to see Frank Goodman the way she sees him. Win their empathy. If it's true that we're all capable of murder at least once in our lives, for one moment, get the jury to feel the moment and make it real for them. Make them put their fingers on the trigger and believe that they would have done exactly the same thing in BJ's place, that Frank drove her to it.
Admit to manslaughter?
It's the honorable way out. No one would blame BJ for doing what she did.
But it's still murder.
No. Self-defense. There's a big difference. Murder is premeditated. Manslaughter is involuntary.
But it's only voluntary if I can prove that she shot Frank because she was molested.
So prove it.
How?
Julia, you're on the defense team. I'm just a figment of your imagination.
Can I get you something?
I'll take an acquittal.
Well, I'm working on it. BJ, you said something in the courthouse. You said that you remember seeing Frank that night. And you remember hearing the gun go off, right?
Right.
But you don't remember pulling the trigger, though.
No, but, I mean, I had the gun in my hand and Frank's dead. So fill in the blanks for him.
Well, this is a filler for you. You didn't do it. You did not shoot Frank Goodman.
But the gun was...
But forget the gun. You don't remember firing the shot. And as far as I'm concerned, that shoots holes in your confession.
Warren, what is it going to take to convince you that I did it?
What's it gonna take? You look me in the eye and tell me that you shot him. If you tell me that, then I'll believe you. That's what I wanted to hear.
Where are we going?
You're staying here. I'm going to the courthouse to find Julia.
What's that?
Independence Day.
Oh, would you be allowed and get me a cup of coffee?
Sure.
Thanks.
Can I get you anything, miss?
No, thank you, I'm fine.
Well, you certainly make good time.
Well, your phone call piqued my interest. What's so urgent?
Just thought you might be interested to know that Lily's on to you.
Should that mean something?
Let me spell it out for you. B-A-B-Y. It's the phrase, guess what? I'm pregnant. Ring any bell? dong. Guess Lily was right. You lied.
I don't know what you're talking about, okay?
Oh, why don't you save that innocent act for Rafe? Poor dope.
I don't have to take it.
No, you don't. The door's right there. You're free to go. But I have to make one phone call.
What do you want, Gina? If it's money, I can't help you.
Why do people like you always think it comes down to the almighty dollar? What I want is for you and Rafe to live happily ever after.
I mean, what difference could that possibly make to you?
The difference is my daughter's happiness. Being engaged to Ted Capwell is the best thing that's ever happened to her. And I don't want some lie you told Rafe. To cut him loose, put him back on the street where he can make Lily unhappy again.
Well, I don't expect you to believe me. But I love Rafe, and I want our marriage to work.
Well, just make sure it does. Maybe you better go back and go over your tracks and make sure you have them all covered. Because if Rafe finds out that you lied about being pregnant, he's going to have to get in line to wring your neck. Did I make myself clear?
Don't worry about Gina. In the first place, Lily was talking about a different blonde. Blonde seems to be the color of choice for Santa Barbara's bad girls these days.
And in the second place?
In the second place, you got my father eating out of your hand. It's unsanitary, but then again, people in love, they do all kinds of crazy things.
Such as?
Such as getting all dolled up, making a call on somebody with trumped-up pretexts. We both know why you're here, Angela.
How many guesses do I get?
3. You forget the first 2, and you got me. You just can't get enough of me, can you?
Thus far, it's BJ's word against the dead man. And the dead man happens to be a respected and a decorated cop.
It sounds as if you have your work cut out for you and some digging to do.
Well, where do I start?
I would suggest Frank's backyard. It's almost a given that most abusers were abused themselves during childhood.
Lisa and Jody have already been down that road. The man who molested Frank refuses to testify, so we're right back down to BJ's word.
Well, her word's good enough for me.
Where's BJ?
She's at the newspaper. We've been going over and over and over what happened that night. And guess what? She doesn't remember pulling the trigger. All she remembers is being face-to-face with Frank in the desert.
Well, guess what? I hate to burst your bubble, but all of that is irrelevant right now since the damage has already been done.
Well, then let's undo it.
What do you think I'm sitting here trying to do, Warren? Here's the way that I see it. What we need to do is we need to recreate the cycle of abuse from where it began, with the man who assaulted and abused Frank, to where it ended, where Frank in turn abused BJ.
I'm not following you.
It means I need to show them, them being the jury, how one unspeakable act begat another unspeakable act. How an innocent girl transformed into an unwilling victim, caught in a state of such emotional distress that she would have done anything to keep herself alive. BJ may have been holding the gun, but it was Frank who forced her hand. I've got to find some way to make the jury see this.
You like?
I love it. But it might be a little too wild for Lionel.
Oh.
So what do you think, Lily? At least I don't look like June Cleaver.
No, now you look like Jane Jetson.
Well, at least I don't look like Astro. You've done it, Riley. This is a keeper.
Thank God I was beginning to run out of hairspray.
You came back.
Yeah. I thought about what you said, and I think that maybe you're right. Maybe I ought to just be concerned about Ted and my marriage and let Rafe and Lisa worry about themselves.
Well, it sounds like a plan to me. You stick with Ted. I know the two of you are going to have a very bright future. It's just a feeling I have. Let nature take its course.
Maybe. And even if it doesn't, love is kind of on my short list of things I've learned to live without. Right up there with food and water.
Oh, God.
What's so funny?
You are. Talk about ego. You'd have to rent Grand Central Station to house your overblown estimation of
it
yourself.
is not my ego that brought you here. It's your libido that's in overdrive.
I am here to try to protect your father's feelings, as well as my relationship with him.
No, the reason that you're here is because you still have the hots for me. I'm going to prove it.
Am I supposed to swoon or what? Come on, Ted, that doesn't do it for me anymore.
No, doesn't? Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't bother me at all because I know that you got all dolled up to come over here, do your little mating dance. Tell you another thing. I'm going to sit this one out.
I don't want you. Maybe you still want me. Unbutton my blouse, Ted.
Excuse me?
You heard me. Come on, Ted, I want to feel your hot little fingers fumbling on my buttons. I dare you.
Nope. I got something else I'm going to do with my hands.
Is that right? What has she got that I haven't got?
Why don't you give it back to me, please?
Make me.
Give it back to me.
No.
Give it back to me.
No.
Give it back to me. Give it. Great. That is a priceless icon. This is priceless. This is priceless. It is not a cheap slut like you.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna get out of here before I do something I regret.
Ted!
Ted Capwell, you come back here.
Get lost!
I am not going anywhere until you take back what you just said about me.
Yeah, there'll be a snowstorm in hell first.
I said take it back. Ted? Ted, where are you? Come back here, you coward! Ted! Ah!
Mason.
In the flesh. I thought if you were on your way out, I could carry a briefcase for you.
Just like in school.
Mm-hmm.
Not a little preppy. No, thank you. I think I can handle it.
My little preppy. Julia, as a friend and not as a judge, I realize your back is against the wall.
As a judge, not as a friend. You're the one who put me there. It's a very cold and a very lonely place to be. But I'll manage to figure it out, I'm sure, with a little help. I miss you.
Good night.
Did you see Julia?
Yes?
Did everything go right?
Everything's going to be just fine.
What are you doing with the suitcase?
I'm going to go on a little trip. It's only going to be overnight, but don't worry about it. I'm going to drop you off at the cabin on my way to the airport.
All right. Please don't leave me. I don't want to be alone.
BJ, I'm doing this so we can be together. I know it doesn't make sense, but trust me on this one, okay, kid?
I do trust you. I trust you with my life. I'm just afraid.
I know you are. But you see, I have a cure for that. You know, you've already been through the worst part, which means tomorrow's going to be easier. And the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. So I want you to think about those tomorrows while I'm gone. And before you know it, it'll be tomorrow, and I'll be back. And that's for good luck.
I don't need luck. I've got you. Come on. I have a plane to catch.
Right.
What kind of man sleeps around on his pregnant wife? Meet Steve. He cheated on his wife 2 days after she told him she was pregnant. Dan explains his affair with the 17-year-old by saying, I just wanted to have a little fun. Pregnant women and their cheating men on the next Jenny Jones.